New Yorkers were treated to a magnificent sight today. For those up early enough to appreciate it, the USS Intrepid.
And what a sight to see her pass under the Verrazzano Bridge.
The Intrepid saw active duty for 31 years in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam.
It was shelled, hit by kamikazes. It acted as the prime recovery vehicle for the Mercury and Gemini space missions. It was decommissioned in 1974.
The 39-year-old ship had been scheduled for the scrap heap.
Until Zachary Fisher came along. A partner in the Fisher Brothers real estate company, Fisher had a dream. The Intrepid could become a living example of history for the children of this city.
But it wasn't easy. It took mounds of paper and years. The ship will be brought to the pier at West 46th Street. And one man today is very happy.
I think I'm probably the only man in the world that could say my ship just came in.
He had done something historic. What he wanted to do was leave behind a legacy that people would learn from.
How did we move from being a 1943 aircraft carrier and fighting in World War II and the Cold War and 3 tours in Vietnam and in the space race to becoming a museum? It starts with the artifacts that tell the stories. The museum amplifies the real experiences of those on the front lines of history and the stories behind the engineering marvels in our collections that were shaped by and in turn changed the course of world history. For 40 years as a museum, we have used these artifacts to teach at the intersection of history and innovation.
The ship is home to so many different things. Every time you come here, you'll see something that you didn't see before. There's something here representative of each kind of era, whether it be the ship itself, the submarine, the Concorde. It's larger than life.
We continue to build our historic aircraft collection, each with its own story to tell. From the historic Avenger, to the F-16 Falcon, to the supersonic Concorde, the museum educates and inspires about the technological advances in flight. Our most recent addition, for example, is the Skyray that flew off Intrepid in the 1960s. It's incredibly cool, and it is currently in a restoration hangar, and it'll be ready for the public later this year. Space Shuttle Enterprise was a total game changer. Besides attracting thousands from near and far, Enterprise allows us to explore Intrepid's historical legacy to the space program, and it also provides a springboard to examine the present and future of space exploration.
It really opened up space in a very meaningful way.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and...
So I spent 14 years in NASA's astronaut office, flying 4 times to space, and then both terms of the Obama administration as the NASA administrator. Intrepid has a special affinity for me because it's the home of the Enterprise, which was the very first space shuttle ever produced.
The space shuttle represents an opportunity to speak about our future. How do people go into space today? Where are they going? Where will they be living? What experiments are being done? How is it improving human life as we know it today?
The space shuttle was the first spacecraft built that would carry 7 people. It wasn't designed to carry just test pilots, and to be blunt, just white test pilots. With the beginning of the shuttle era, NASA began to bring women, people of color into the program. It opened up the opportunity for space flight to people who would have never had that before. I never dreamed of being an astronaut for the very reason that there was nobody who looked like me when I was growing up in Columbia, South Carolina, and the shuttle really changed that. Kids from every borough in New York and every country in the world can come in here, and it may inspire them to do something about which they never dreamed before.
Education is at the heart of all we do. We offer thousands of programs, including for learners with a range of physical and cognitive challenges. And we reach more than 55,000 school children each year, the majority of whom are underserved. And it's all part of our award-winning educational programming. It's our job to make our ship and our museum as accessible as possible for every demographic, for every child, for every adult. The Intrepid Museum never loses sight of our historic obligation to serve those who served us. So we offer an incredible array of veterans programming for their families, for veterans alone, to come together, feel comfortable, learn from each other, and just be able to breathe. The Intrepid Museum is for everyone. We just 3D digitized the entire ship. All the types of things we can do with this 3D digitization, augmented reality, virtual reality, we're constantly connecting to and trying to stay ahead of where the world is going. We've arrived in a big way, and we have an impact well beyond these steel walls. We want to continue to grow that.
For 40 years, this ship has stayed afloat by the efforts of so many. That's a family that we hope will just keep widening every day.
I would hope that everybody walks away saying, I want to be an instrument of change for the Intrepid to take it into the next century.
And I think that's what Zach would be most proud of. What the ship has done over those 40 years and what's come from it. Zach's legacy was the acorn that became the oak, but that oak just keeps on growing.
I didn't think that it was possible for a man's dream come true this way.